Let's talk about Tango 8 a little bit. This opening figure in bar 2, that starts in bar 2 after the introduction, is really, for the violin 2 part, you're really playing purely the bass line. So let's hear a little bit of that with Kayo playing. Okay, so that's the basic framework of the piece. And the other notes that accompany that would be more accompanimental in nature. And I play those along with her, but listen when she plays with me and watch her play the bass line. Bar 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're staying very strictly inside the tempo, and we are accentuating the bass line notes, and the notes that I have after that are not bass line, but they're structure of the piece. They're very important for the chords and for eventually, once we start playing it, the melody. Let's talk about measure 9 for a second. In the first violin part, I have 16ths throughout the bar. And I'm not really going to stretch the time out very much. I'm going to keep them pretty metronomic because we don't want to lose our tango groove. So Kayo and I will play bar 9 together. 2, 3, 4. See how quickly we return back to the groove? Generally, we don't want to stretch the time of these types of passages out too much. That's more of what happens in a classical style piece, but not necessarily in a tango piece. So let's talk about bars 25 on in the piece, the middle section of the piece. This is the section where Kayo in the second violin part will be playing the bass line while I'm playing the very long legato line on top of it. Make sure, for those of you that are playing first violin, to keep your line very expressive, but keep it well in tempo and listen carefully to the bass line that's being played in the second violin. The way we keep this thing together is by staying very much in tempo and keeping very close to that tango groove that we were talking about. So here's bar 25. 2, 3, 4. Get the idea? We don't ever really fall out of tempo, even though that top line is very, very expressive. It doesn't ever really lose its metronomic time. In bar 2 through 5 in the violin 1 part, which is identical to bar 26 to 29 in the violin 2 part, it's very important to keep these strokes quite short, light, and very close to the frog. I'm going to have Kayo play bar 26 to 29 of the violin 2 part. Notice that each one of the notes that she plays starts from a stop bow on the string, like this. She's not bouncing her bow like this. She's starting from a stopped bow on the string and picking each note out of the string. Make sure you do that in this etude. I'd like to talk about one other thing in this piece, and that is, on the violin 1 part, as well as the violin 2 part, there are certain notes that have accents along with dashes. Now these notes need to be played in what's very close to a Mardle style, which means to articulate the note, draw the bow with a short, quick accent, and then release the pressure of the bow. Let me do it one more time in slow motion. If you notice, I articulate the note and then just let the bow drift without any pressure. Okay, nice short crisp Mardle. Leave the bow on the string so that the note continues to ring without any pressure. I'd like to talk a little bit about the rhythmic element of this piece. Even though we're doing the dynamics, we're not really stretching out the tempo, particularly in any place in this piece. In order to keep the tango groove going, we want to stay pretty close to the metronome and make this thing express itself very rhythmically. So you need to think of yourself as much as a rhythm player as you are a string player. And so let's keep things very much in the groove. Let's take a look at bar 48, 49, 50, and 51. Notice we'll make big dynamic changes, but we're pretty much staying right in the beat. 2, 3, 4. This piece takes quite a bit of concentration. When you begin the piece, you want to be able to see your way all the way through to the end. So stay very focused and always work hard while you're playing it. Concentrate well and try to play with as much quality as you can and keep your nose to the grindstone all the way to the end of the piece. It will really help.